You're listening to the Industry Alchemist podcast. The definition of alchemy is a seemingly magical process of transformation or creation. This podcast exists to hear the stories of entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders doing just that in their industry. We hear about the journey of the brave souls carving a new path, moving their industry and our lives forward in a seemingly magical way. This episode is brought to you by OfficeChief.com. Office Chief exists to make moving your office easy and painless. Moving an office can be a big hassle. On top of running your company, you're thrown into having to figure out what to do. Hire space planners, furniture companies, movers, IT consultants, the list goes on. It only takes 2 minutes to create a profile, and Office Chief gives you a step-by-step action plan and connects you with the top vendors in your market. Moving your office? Log on to OfficeChief.com and make it easy. I'm your host, Matt Brower, co-founder and managing broker of Column Commercial Partners, helping companies save money on their real estate. I'm also founder and CEO of OfficeChief.com, an online resource for businesses moving their office or updating their space. So, Byron, appreciate you being here. Just a quick introduction of who you are. Welcome to the Industry Alchemist podcast, everyone. This is our guest. Our guest today is a Colorado native who's very involved in Colorado's business community through his involvement with Entrepreneurs Organization, through being a thought leader and soon-to-be author on business turnarounds, and a mentor for many business owners. After graduating college, he jumped into several sales and marketing roles until 11 years ago when he founded Survival Frog. Survivalfrog.com is one of the largest e-commerce stores selling survival and outdoor gear to consumers and organizations. Originally selling info products, Survival Frog now sells hundreds of physical products and has nearly 1 million customers throughout the U.S. Really appreciate you being here, Byron Walker.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I wanted to jump in by asking you how you got, I imagine your business, given this COVID-19 epidemic, your business is probably on fire right now. So I know you're very busy, likely. I wanted to jump in by asking, how did you get into the survivalist industry?
Yeah, things are quite crazy right now for sure. Massive uptick in sales. So we had kind of been through a downturn over the last 3 or 4 years. So now we're going in the other direction. But how we got into it was the business actually started about 10 years ago. And we initially started doing info products. So we were selling do-it-yourself guides like CDs and videos, and started off as an affiliate marketer, went into being the publisher and having affiliates on the other side, and did pretty well with that. We had some really good years in there, scaled a few products pretty well. And the ones that scaled and did very, very well were in the survival market. And so...
So you had several products, one of them being some documentation on survival, survivalist.
It was called Sold Out After Crisis. And it was the 37 things sold out after disaster hits. Yeah. And it just did really well. That in that particular year, 2012, was a big year for the survival market. And we did really well with that.
Nice.
But over time, the info product market got really hard, free products on YouTube and everywhere else. And so it became increasingly harder to get a good product to scale like what we were doing. Yeah. And we saw that trend in the market. And, at first I always look at us and blame us like, oh, we're doing something wrong. But the whole market we saw coming down. And so I saw that as just kind of a market shift. So we moved into physical products at that point and started off with drop shipping and in our warehouse and just kept evolving over the years to where we're at now, where, we've got a full e-commerce store, one of the largest in the survival niche, and adding new products all the time.
That's great. So we are, we're obviously doing this virtually. We're both locked down in our homes during this COVID-19 epidemic. The story, what I want the listeners to really get from you, you had kind of your story about, you mentioned 3-4 years ago, your industry kind of took a big downturn, which caused you to have a huge, pivot, which you did, and now you're emerging out of that. I want to kind of hear that story because I think it's top of mind for a lot of companies as everything else is on lockdown. We're all doing our best to try and keep moving things forward, but nobody really knows how big of an impact this is going to have on their business or their industry. So very much appreciate you being here to kind of tell us. You just did this over the last 3-4 years. I'd love to kind of hear how that went.
Yeah. I was on another podcast, and I was, I introduced as, the guy has a business doing really well. And I hope that's not why I can add value. My value, I think, is the fact that I just went through a massive downturn and I turned the company around. We formulated a real strategic turnaround plan. And from the downturn, before the downturn to when we ended it and ended our losses, we saw revenue. So in 2017, revenue was around $9 million. And in May of 19, it had come down to about $3 million a year. So we had taken this massive hit from 9 million down to 3 million. Wow. But once we turned the corner and everything fell into place with the turnaround plan, our profits were actually the same as the dollar amount. So we actually tripled the net profit as a percentage.
Because of the changes you implemented based on the downturn. Wow.
Yeah.
How did you come up with those items? Like what was the process that you and your team went through to figure out how to pivot, what to do?
Yeah. A lot of it was talking to other entrepreneurs and friends. And I read, everything out there, didn't find a lot of value in it. Just kind of came up with a turnaround plan on our own. And it wasn't like it was set in stone from the beginning and it stayed that way. Mm-hmm. Even the turnaround pivot itself had little mini pivots in between.
Okay.
But, first of all, just want to say it's hell. I mean, it was just a complete nightmare. It was 17 months of losses.
Wow.
From 27 employees down to 5. We shut down the office. We shut down the warehouse, moved to a 3PL. I mean, it's heartbreaking, and there's no way around it that it sucks. And so if you're expecting me to be the cheerleader here, as you're going through it, it is very difficult. But here's the good part, I guess, if there is there is a way through it, and you can create your own turnaround plan within your business. And when you get through it on the other side, you can actually look back and be pretty proud of something. And I'll say without a doubt, that 17 months of pure hell, for me, losing sleep, losing a lot of money, losing, employees and friends and all kinds of just nightmare stuff. At the end, I can look back and say, I'm glad it happened. It was the best thing that ever could have happened to my company.
Really?
It was the best thing that could have ever happened to me personally as a business person. Maybe even personally, just because I'm such a stronger person now emotionally, I think. Sometimes those really lows really create a lot of character, and I learned so much. I'm a far better business person, and my business is so much stronger. A higher percentage as a profit margin, lower cost. We're streamlined. We're more efficient. We're stronger. Everything's way better than it was before. So I'm glad it happened. But every single day during that period, it was miserable.
That's amazing. So you're obviously, we all think, this is the way my business works. This is the way my business operates. When that happened to you, you were forced to shift and make changes and operate in a different way, which then it sounds like you now know yourself to be someone that is capable of getting through something like that. And it's much more of a powerful place to be operating from.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely have a different level of confidence in your ability to handle adversity and the ups and downs that a business will go through. I'm not, I already know there'll be another downturn in my, future. I don't know when and how or what it'll look like, what it'll cause it. but I'll be ready. And
That's
so
great.
really, the skills definitely get sharpened during those downtimes.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, were there, I would imagine there were times when it was very difficult for you, for yourself, and for you to have your team members stay in the remaining team members stay in a positive place mentally and just, move forward powerfully. Talk about that a little bit. I imagine a lot of the listeners, a lot of business people right now are kind of going through that.
Yeah, it was difficult for everyone. From what I did, and I've seen a few other businesses, it's really the businesses that take quick, decisive decisions seem to do better in the downturn. It's less about trying to get by until the market comes back. I don't think that's a good strategy, because that strategy involves keeping as many people as you can, not changing as much as you can. It's really just trying to, get by until the market comes back. And that's a dangerous place to be, because the market's not going to be friendly to anybody. So the opposite of that is be strategic about it, cut deep, cut quick, get to the point where you can survive with whatever, let's say 50% of your normal revenue. For me, it was, a third of my normal revenue.
Yeah.
So I had to shrink my company down from, basically by 2/3. And so we had to look at every department with new eyes and say, how are we going to do this? So a few examples. So we took the accounting department. It was 3 people, really like 3.5 people. And now I have half of a person. Okay.
Oh my God.
So we use automation, APIs, moved to QuickBooks Online, Gusto, Bill.com, all these different things, and got rid of a lot of the manual, processes. And now I've got an accounting department that gives me faster financials, more accurate, and I spend a fraction of the cost. We did that with our IT department. We did that with all the departments. So you have to let go of a lot of pet projects. And the whole idea is taking what you have and shrinking it down into some other percentage of your revenue and do a forecasted P&L with 1/3 of your revenue. What would that look like?
Yeah.
You may think it's impossible. It's not. It just means it's impossible in your current form. So you need to change your company, be more streamlined, be way more efficient, do it with fewer people, and again, let go of some of those pet projects and cool initiatives that you're working on. You can come back to them later, but you need to let go of all those expenses right now.
Wow. And God, I'm just hearing that and I'm like, it makes me uneasy.
I know.
Just to think about having to do that. And thankfully, like my team, we are a small team, we run lean and mean. I'm sure there are ways that we can implement more process and systems and things like that to make ourselves more efficient. I can't think of what those would be right now, but the exercise of doing that, what you just suggested, pretend that your revenues are 30% of what they were. What would you have to shift? That would be an interesting exercise.
Yeah, well, here's an interesting exercise as well. So same scenario, okay? But imagine your business is not yours, okay? Imagine it's a friend of yours, okay? And your friend now has this business, and this business is struggling, it's losing money, or whatever the scenario is, okay? And you're going to go talk to your friend who owns this business and give him some advice and experience shares, okay? That means you don't know you don't know the employees, you don't know their backstories, you don't know the friendships, you don't know the pet projects, you don't know that one revenue channel in the company, which is not making very much money, is the owner's favorite, or there's some other emotional tie to it. There's all kinds of baggage behind the scene, right? So you're going to your friend and you're going to give him or her advice on this business and how to turn it around. And sometimes by taking that step and stepping back from the emotional attachments that you have with all kinds of different parts of your business, it helps you to see really the business as it is and make, at least potentially those hard decisions. Now, once you do it, you can come back to it more with the emotional attachment. I'm not saying let that go completely, because we are human and you have relationships. So I'm not saying be cold-hearted about it. Yeah. I'm saying go to that spot, that space though, and figure out what advice you would give. The same exercise. What if you had a consultant come in to your business? What do you think he would tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. And those 9 times out of 10, it's not what you want to hear, but it is what's healthy and it's what will get you through to the other side.
God, it's great. Great advice. Great advice. I'm going to try to do that with my company as well. So I want to, I know you're super busy and I have you for 8 more minutes here. I want to just take a second and celebrate your current success, because I don't want to step over that. Extremely happy how successful you are right now. So what do you, if you don't mind sharing, what do you anticipate doing? You mentioned the other day that you have like 10x revenue in the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Given what's happening, what does your current P&L estimate look like in terms of revenues, stuff like that? Where you at with your team size, all that stuff?
Yeah. Well, we hired 4 people last week.
Wow.
So, yeah.
While being locked down, that's pretty
last
impressive.
in this week. So over the last 7 days, we've hired 4 people. So yeah, we're hiring right now, which is one of the few companies. We're planning for the future, but it's also hard because we don't know what the future holds. None of us do.
Yeah.
So we're being conservative with it. But right now, it's a strange place to be because I'm not celebrating. Use the word celebrating. I really am so just torn and distraught with seeing all my friends, my entrepreneur friends, suffering.
Yeah.
So I'm kicking back in. I'm helping. I'm doing podcasts wherever I can add value because I just went through this.
Yeah.
I'm actually writing a book on the turnaround called The Turnaround Gift. And the whole idea is there is a gift at the end and you'll be happy with it. But it's hell going through it. Anyways, my point is I'm just trying to give back wherever I can. The business is growing and it's exciting. It's complete, tons of growing pains, supply chain issues. We're moving our 3PL. There's you name it. It's just crazy right now. Every day is just full of massive decisions. But everyone else is in the same boat, and they're on the other side of the fence where their business is going down. So I am grateful it's going up, but really we're just keeping our head down and just keep swinging.
Yeah, no, that's great. Very wise words. So happy that you were able to share what you went through over the last few years that everyone's going through now, and kind of how you
can I squeeze in? Yeah, let me squeeze in one more kind of exercise. A lot of times people are looking for that one idea that's going to change their company and turn it around. I was too. The golden switch there. And often it's like that one idea is going to be something that increases sales enough to where you can survive. Again, I would suggest you look at what about if you shrunk the company and were more profitable with less revenue. But, anyways, instead of looking for that one big idea, look for several smaller ideas. Because here's some weird math for you. If you improve 4 areas of your business by 10%, that equals 50%, if not more. Okay. So, because these little things feed off of each other. And 10%, can you cut your cost by 10%? Sure. Can you cut your labor by 10%? Sure. Could you increase the profitable revenue by 10%? Sure. And I say profitable because there's a whole nother talk on that. A lot of people have some revenue channels that aren't very profitable. Okay. So you got to make sure if you're trying to scale or increase your business on those, that you're choosing the right revenue source and it is profitable, better margins, everything. So where can you find these little 10% thing, improvements? Well, you get 4 of those, there's your business 50% right there. Okay. And if you do that a couple times, like I did that like 2 or 3 times in the business. Literally, when we ended the downturn, we had cut so much and did so many things. We actually flipped to the other side, and that's where we're seeing these crazy margins. because we had done so much work, because we improved our margins 10%. We cut our costs 10%. We raised profitable revenue by 10%. We did all these things, and we did that several times over a period of a year and a half. And what came out the other end was a swing of, whoa, now it's really profitable. So point is, little things add up, and sometimes 10%, you can handle that. So focus on those little things.
That's great. This is why you are a business mentor. These little golden nuggets. That's great.
Awesome.
Appreciate you sharing that. Just a couple rapid fire questions to cap us off here, so we can get to know you more on a personal level. Are there any books that you've read that have been super impactful over the years?
Yeah, I'm definitely a book guy. Audible, whatever.
I can see
else.
From behind you there, you have a lot.
Yeah, well, that's nothing. That was last week. There's some kind of legendary books that really changed or altered my life, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, How to Win Friends, Influence People, Secrets of the Millionaire Mindset. Those are huge, right? Fundamental shifts in how I started, thinking. But some more recent ones, Living Forward is a really good book on personal goals and just direction of your life, being more purposeful with your life. Because a lot of times people just kind of coast, sounds too negative, but they really just kind of let life come to them and, alter their life. So this is being more purposeful in life. With hiring, well, maybe a lot of people aren't hiring right now, but with hiring, the book Who is fantastic. We're using that a lot. Yeah.
Right.
The One Thing, another great book. So I could keep going. There's constantly trying to find new books. Love them.
You are a reader.
Because, at the end of the day, I could probably figure out all this stuff on my own, but why? Someone has already written a book about it. The book costs $20, right? Come on. And I can go in there and just speed up my learning curve rapidly by someone else's experiences.
Yeah.
I love that.
What I love about that is that you're a business mentor. You're heavily involved in leadership in the entrepreneurial community, and you have this passion for lifelong learning. Like you're humble about your leadership. It's like you're a constant student as well as the teacher. That's great.
Learning and growing. Even that's one of the strongest core values of our company is learning and growing. You always have to be learning.
Nice. That's a great question. Let's cap it off by what are your other core values of survivalfrog.com?
Being proactive is a big one, and just jumping in and taking action. Another one, which we need to probably document a little bit better, is efficiency, because this is really more of a new one. We're wickedly efficient, like crazy, like all the SOPs and just getting stuff done. We get so much stuff done in a short amount of time. So that's a big one for us. And life work balance is huge, and like right now I'm working, it's like 16-hour days right now. So there's not much balance there, but obviously the world is, being flipped upside down. In a normal time though, I have really good balance in my life, and I'll get back to that soon enough. So we encourage that with employees too. We have unlimited PTO, and we really push our employees to have that balance. Because if you're just always pushing it, you'll burn out. You won't be creative. You won't be happy. It's just not worth it. Yeah.
Check out one of our recent episodes on this show. Actually, was the CEO of Wishlist. Basically, what they do, Dan Casper. Basically, what they do is they offer. You're familiar with those guys, I'm sure. They offer experiences as benefits to their employees. So kind of what you're getting at too.
Cool. So is that like, I want to go hang gliding and somehow they make that happen, right?
Nice. Could be any of that. Yeah, exactly. As opposed to, hey, well, congrats on your 5-year anniversary. Here's a placard for your desk.
Yeah. Well, I had an employee that had never flown on an airplane, always had that goal. And then a couple months later, she's telling me, I'm driving to Las Vegas with my husband. I said,
oh, wow.
you're not.
Yeah.
So we bought her a plane ticket. I mean, it's a couple $100. I mean, the spouse too, but it's a very low cost investment to really hit the experience hard. So I love finding little fun experiences like that. That's a great idea.
That's great. Well, I appreciate your time. We're a couple minutes over here, so I'm going to let you get back to it. I know you're slammed and got to get back with your team. How can people reach you? Obviously, survivalfrog.com is the website. Are there any, social media platforms that you're heavily involved with? Or
yeah, I'd say LinkedIn. Yeah, so that's the main one. Yeah, there's no courses or anything like that. It's just just trying to speak and give back wherever I can. But LinkedIn's a great one for me.
Okay, great. Well, Byron, thanks again. This was an incredible conversation. A lot of really, really keen advice, especially with what everyone's going through right now. So thank you so much for that.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.